it's Jen. I have another movement of the day post for you. Your mod for today is going to be about the sexiest part of your body, which is, of course, your ankles. So your ankles and your feet, of course, are the foundation of your entire kinetic chain, affecting your knee, affecting your hip, affecting your lower back. You get the story. So if you have knee issues, usually it's the ankle and feet that are the culprit, whatever is going down there. And a lot could be going down there, or there's no way we could cover it in one post, and I'm going to try to talk really fast to cover just what I want to cover. So mobility in general refers to our ability to take our body through the entire range of motion as we're designed to do. And if we're able to have mobility, then that means we could fire the correct muscles in the correct sequence and then prevent compensation and imbalances and injuries down the line. So everyone needs to think about mobility in general. What specific mobility is the right one for you will depend on what you need, and it needs to be screened. It really needs to be screened well, because it could be a combination of things, and different sizes are always different. But today we're just going to think about the importance of the mobility of the ankle. I will show you a self-assessment and then a quick drill pairing that you can incorporate. So mobility always comes before strength. So you could have a lot of strength and not have mobility. Also, even if we're kind of lead an active lifestyle, a lot of times, an hour workout a day, or just the one activity that we may do for a long time is not enough to take our body through the range of motion that it should. So, and most of the hours were spent like going from the car to the desk to the grocery store, back, and maybe some light cleaning, and that's basically my boring life. So the workouts don't necessarily counteract not putting ourselves through the ranges of motion that we're capable of. So one example, anybody should be able to do this regardless of whether you're trying to do like heavy squatting, is to get into a deep squat and to get out of a deep squat. And I will explain how the ankle mobility comes into play. So when you get into a deep squat, you want to keep your feet flat on the ground, your heels down, and then as you go back, you're just going to let your sit back down as low as you could go. Now we're not going to worry about all of the other mechanics of a proper squat at this point. We're just going to think about what the ankle mobility means here. So from here, if you're already on your heels, it's a problem. If you're falling back, it's a problem. But let's say you feel nice and stable. The best way to get out of the squat, and especially of course more important when you're loaded up, but let's say you're just doing your body weight like me and you want to get out of the squat, you want to be able to have that ankle mobility that will end up driving your knees forward naturally, because the top of the ankle and the bottom of your leg here, so your tibia, your talus, you need to have room to create this angle, which of course this is your knee coming forward, and I'll address that knee going forward in a second. And what happens when you do that and you come up, you actually take all the load off your knees. So you are properly taking the force that's generated through your heels, through your calves, letting it gently pass through your knees, then continuing that force through your legs to your glutes, which is the proper way. Now, the cueing of your knees not going past your toes, that's valid, because a lot of times we teach people to squat and they tend to hike their knees forward like this, overextending their tendons. But without overextending your tendons, we actually have a huge range of motion for that knee to be able to travel forward of the toes, and that's actually what we want. So if we keep our knees back, that cues people to focus on the hinge, which is perfect, which is also what we want. So they hinge back, but the problem is a lot of times they stop here, maybe go about parallel, and they come up. The parallel point here being right where you're holding the most tension at your knees. If you go all the way down and then have that ankle mobility to come up and take the pressure off the knees, that will save your knees. So let me show you the self-assessment. You're gonna take a knee in front of the wall about 5 inches away, your toes facing the wall. And what you're going to check is to see if you could get that knee to the wall with your heel remaining on the ground, okay? And I kind of can't quite get there. And that's fine. You're just noting where you are. Then for the drill, we're gonna pair it with something that you're probably already doing. And this is good because sometimes the restriction also has to do with the tightness in your calves. So a lot of times we're probably already doing this wall calf stretch. Perfectly fine stretch. In this position, your back leg is your working leg, heels down, stretching your calves. Flexibility drill, so you hold this for 10 to 15 seconds. Then you switch your focus to the front leg as a mobility drill, which we're going to hold 3 to 5 seconds, and the back leg comes out of the picture. You're going to focus on moving that ankle, which will take the knee with it towards the wall. And you would hold that for 3 seconds, 5 seconds, come up, do it a few times, and then do the entire sequence a few times and switch to the other side. All right, so I was trying to talk really fast so I could get this all in, and I hope you understood everything I said. Sorry about that. This is Chung signing off, reminding you to start where you are, do what you can, use what you have, and move something.